I'm here, y'all. One of my crazy things, I'm sitting here looking at the uh, phone, not paying attention to what time it is. Hello, Peter. How are you? I can't wait to find out more information about the meetup, Peter, for next year. Glad you're going to help do one or sponsor one, whichever, whatever. So I'm running late and nobody's in but you and me. So it is super hot here. I don't know how hot it is there, but it was like 97 here. And they're predicting it to be 99 with a heat index of like 113 or so tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday. Hey, Jovita. I'm complaining about the heat, guys. It was 97 here today. Uh, Goodness gracious, we're not used to this heat. I guess you guys are used to it, Jovita, but I don't see how y'all could possibly live without air. I guess it's something you get used to out there. It has been super hot. Therefore, I'm running around with little tops on. Oh. I decided I'm going to start doing some if everything goes as planned, I'm going back to the park on Wednesday to shoot a video. Okay, cool. Sounds great. Peter, I'm excited. Anyway. I don't see how y'all stand it. I swear I don't. I don't. It was so humid today. I went out and just locked the gate up on the chickens. It's not even 300 foot probably from the back door. And I was already dripped in sweat just walking from there to lock the chickens and back in the house. Hey, Wheat, how are you? This heat has been horrible. Whew. Yeah, we're not used to it around here. Of course, it's time we start getting some hot heat, I guess, but it don't mean I have to like it. I'm hoping next weekend I'm planning on going over to the Gold Camp and camping for the weekend. Nothing happens. I think the high here was 92, so you guys are a few degrees cooler than us. Ours was 90, 97 today. They're saying it's going to be 99 the next 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, with a heat index of around 113. I don't think I'll be doing a whole lot outdoors, guys. I don't think I'll be doing a whole lot outdoors. Well, guys, I'm going to be putting out a video or two of some spots around LaGrange here, or the area where I live, some historical sites. I thought that's something that I can research and just go and do some videos of. One of them is the one that's fixing to come out soon, is of Young's Mill Bridge and Young's Mill, the mill itself, all about the mill there and when it was started and the little of the history there. And I'd like to do one on Burnt Village Campground, which is originally Indian, was an Indian camp. And so hopefully I can get some information out on that. So I'm excited about that, guys. Got anybody new in here? Nope, not yet. There's Reverend Joe Jacobson. Hello, Mr. Joe. How are you? We are doing pretty doggone good here. We got up kicking this morning. Can't ask for better than that, can we? One of my friend's husbands used to send her a text. She worked night shift at the hospital, and he'd send her a text saying, "Woke up this morning, no insurance today." Oh, Lordy. So, see what is, I think I've brought up everything. Guys, over at Ocho Mountain, my friend there is starting a new channel, and he is looking for subscribers and to share his videos out. He's going to be doing some videos, and the money is all going to go to pet rescue. So as soon as he gets out the information on that, I will be letting y'all know so we can try to all go over and support his new channel. Let's see. And he's right up the road, I think, from you, Peter. Yep, he is. Says he's not drinking anymore, so that makes me feel like he is at least trying to make his life better, and hopefully better all around for everybody else around him. I know there were quite a few issues there. I think maybe alcohol and just idiots. We say things we ought not to when we're drinking sometimes. 90s to be near 10 days. So nothing too extreme so far. Well, Peter, I think 99 is pretty extreme myself here in Georgia. So I am not looking forward to it, guys. I am not looking forward to it. We have been trying to get my little garden things. I've been having to water every day, and it's been so doggone hot. They look like they're just withering away. I don't know if I'm gonna get anything out of it. I've got one good mess of cucumbers, pickling cucumbers out. So in a couple of days, I'm gonna be putting up some sweet pickles, and I'm looking forward to that because we were out of them. I sure hope my squash make it. I didn't have hardly any okra to come up this time, so I've got like 4 or 5 okra plants, guys. Oh, what that's going to produce. But anyway, let's see. Reverend Joe says he says stupid stuff when he's sober. I don't need any help. I know it. Me too. I know exactly what you mean. Upper 90s is when it really starts bothering you, Peter. Peter, have you managed to get back into your house yet? I know your son's been there doing a lot of work on your place, but I've not checked out your videos in the last week or two. So I don't know. I know you will be glad to be in your house. But anyway, like I was saying, I'm going to probably go on a Friday, go over to the Gold Camp and camp. I'm probably going to go over to the small animal sale on Friday night, just for the heck of it. There's Christy Betts. Hello, Christy. Hope you're not burning up where you are. Much cooler in Tennessee, I believe, than it is down here in Georgia. A friend of mine lived up in right out of Helen, Georgia, in that area. And boy, it was so nice and cool. It was at least 15 degrees cooler there than it is here where I live. So it almost makes you want to go there and stay for a little while. Oh, Lordy. But let's see. Anyway, so I'm going to go over to the small animal sale just for the heck of it. I'll try to do a little video, and guys, and let y'all see a little bit of what goes on at the small animal sale over there. And then I'm going to go and try to do a little panning for gold and just hang out in the creek because it's too doggone hot. Oh, Christy says it's terrible in Southwest Tennessee. Okay. You guys are lower, maybe a little bit lower altitude. Oh, no. He took off while you were off. We have plans to finish it up soon. Oh, well, I understand that. You know how these kids are. I'm sure he had things going on too in his life. Maybe I'll get it going real quick and you can get on in there. I know without that building being insulated that you're in, it's going to be super hot. I don't know if it has a window that you can put a unit in. Maybe you've got an air conditioner in there that you can stay cool when you're in your little building there. That's your little storage building that you're converting. Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. Ooh, I don't know where all this yawning's coming from. But anyway, see what else is going on. Yeah, my garden is just shriveling up to nothing. Still have not come up with baby goats, so I guess they're just completely. I figured they were gone, but I kept hoping that maybe somebody would see my little Facebook post and my post on YouTube and feel guilty and bring them back. But that hadn't happened, so they're still gone. Sure did hate that. Anyway, we my English cucumbers I've got a few cucumbers on the English cucumber, so I will have to update that with my collaboration there with Jennifer Oceans. I need to do that real soon. My peppers they came up and got about 1.5 inches high, and that was the end of them. They did it out. I don't know what happened with my peppers. I don't know if they got too much water because it was raining a lot, and then I ended up putting them back inside. And anyway, your guineas and chickens got into your tomatoes and had a feast, I bet. Well, that's why I put that chain link fence up around my little garden area down there, guys, because the doggone chickens were getting in there, and every time a tomato would get just a tiny speck of red on it, and they'd see it, they'd eat those tomatoes up like it wasn't nothing. Hello, Rhonda Dotson. How are you, hon? Glad to see you here. Yeah, like I say, I'm gonna be doing that. We're gonna do a little bit of videoing with the gold camp there. Hope y'all will enjoy that little video. I thought I would try to put out some stuff that's more fun. Y'all will get to see me panning a little bit for gold. I don't know how much gold we'll get. I usually find tiny bits, but it's very tiny bits. It's sometimes not even enough to measure when you go and put it on the scale. But then I don't stay at it. I just play at it, where some people are serious. And there's been quite a bit of gold taken out of the gold camp over there. And Charlie cooled off by playing in the water coming out of the garden hose yesterday, and he loved it. I bet he did. He would like a little pool, or maybe one of those little kids splash things that he could run around in. I don't know. Oh, Dez is in here. Hey, Dez, how are you? Hadn't seen you pop in yet. Didn't see it. But guys, I don't know about y'all, but I have about burnt out. I've had this awful YouTube burnout trying to make myself want to put out videos. It's not so much the actual video in itself, it's doing all this editing and all that stuff. I just got a burnout crash, and I just haven't had no interest in it. I've even thought about just quitting completely, just getting away from it, but I don't think I'm going to quit completely right now. I think I'm just going to cut back a lot. And, if I don't get any revenue from it, that's okay. Maybe I will still stay with my watch hours and all that. I may have to join someone else like Des or somebody else's lives to keep my watch hours up so that I'll stay activated or whatever. Not putting out any videos. You know how that goes. But anyway, The heat's been affecting your mood. Well, that may be my problem. I am just burnout. It's what I'm calling it, just burnout. I've just come to the point to where it's starting to be a chore. And when it starts to be a chore and it's not fun, I don't want to do it. So, like I said, I'm going to put out less videos, maybe a little longer videos, and they may be a bunch of conglomeration of things and not just one little, a video of this and a video of that and a video of this. It may be 4 or 5 things going on in one video. But anyway, at least y'all know a little bit of what's going on here at the house that way. Yes, Christy, it does. I was saying earlier that it was 97 here today. And it's supposed to be, the news is saying it's going to be 99. Last year when the news said it was going to be 90, it was already like 94, 95 here. So they're saying it's going to be 99 Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday here, which is tomorrow and the next on through Thursday. And then it's going to drop back to the lower 90s. So there's Jesus is Lord. Hello, hello. Yeah, so I don't handle this heat well. And especially with the lupus, I just feel like I can't breathe and, the whole nine. So I may be doing some cooking videos or something. We will have to see what's going on, what we're going to do now. But anyway. And the heat index here, they're saying it's going to be around 113. So, that's really going to be. And humidity, oh my God, the humidity is you can just wipe the sweat off like that. It's like, you walk out the door and you walk back in and you're already drenched. You feel like you've taken a bath, but it's not a fun bath. You know what I'm saying? It's not a cooling bath. Reverend Joe said it was 92 degrees there in Iowa and a heat index of 102. Holy moly. That's hard. It's so much further up. So, it's just hot. We have just having a heat index. It's just been really hot. We're having a heat drive or heat wave through the country right now, I guess. Oh, yep. We're trying to get a lot of things going on around here. I'd like to get some rabbits and just get started with them because, there's a lot of meat and I really enjoy rabbit. I don't know about you guys. I went to the store today, guys, and bought a bunch of sandwich meat. In fact, I came home with 2 packs of sandwich meat, lettuce, tomatoes, and cheese, and it was $44. I mean, you can't go to the grocery store anymore. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, get back to my rabbit thing. There, you can do about 4 breedings a year with rabbits, with 2 rabbits, and end up with about 600 pounds of meat a year. So if they're young rabbits and they produce well. 8 or so babies at a time of breeding. So I am going to be getting into the rabbits for the meat. Kavita says she likes rabbit. That's good. Oh, it's going to be high in the 80s and mostly rain next week. Well, I've not seen anyway, what's going on next week yet. They're just still showing everything for this week because it's so doggone hot. A cold hot dog beats a hot dog. I agree. But today we had to go to town. I was doing some research on this bill that I'm going to do a video on at the LaGrange Archives, Troup County Archives, I guess. And I couldn't help but laugh because afterwards I told Joey, I said, let's go get us an ice cream at the Dairy Queen. We both ended up with banana splits. So, like I needed a banana split. 100. I'm already roly-poly looking and go and eat a whole banana split right by myself, but that's okay. Let's see. Reverend Joe said he got burnt out on rabbit in the late 1970s, but I've learned quite a bit about raising them. Okay. So you must have raised a bunch of rabbits back then in the 70s. We've had rabbits too. And I always put them in a little handful of grass every day just so they'd have some fresh stuff, and throw them in a carrot or two and some lettuce and scraps tomatoes and just stuff like that so they'd have some difference from just old plain old rabbit food. I know a lot of people may not do that, but anyway. Haven't ate any supper, just too hot. Oh, Christy, bless your heart. You got to eat now. Just because it's hot, just eat something light. That's why I went and got the sandwich stuff today, so I won't have to do a whole lot of cooking. Although I have thawed out some country style ribs and some squash, so I'm going to be cooking them in the next day or two. Let's see, it's snowing in Montana, and they can have it. I'd rather sweat. Cold weather and my bones aren't friends. I understand that. Barbara. Oh, Lordy, Lordy. You sound like my husband. He says, I can get under the garden hose and cool off, but he said this cold weather just kills him, and he can't stand it. I mean, he starts complaining about the cold when it gets like 50. I start complaining when it gets in the 30s, so. Or if the wind's blowing, and then it cuts right through you regardless of what the temperature is, guys. But anyway. But I'm going to be going over there. Hopefully, they will have some rabbits. And rabbits usually this time of year after the Easter, the people that are raising and wanting rabbits just for Easter, and don't sell them all, will be selling their rabbits reasonable at the sale. So they'll be going reasonably at the sale. So I'm thinking about going over to the sale and seeing if I can capture me up some rabbits for Dew Project here. And just to see what, about what prices are. I was shocked at how much roosters are going for. I took 3 of my roosters. Of course, they were healthy, really pretty roosters, but they went for $17 a piece. Shocking. Used to, you couldn't give a rooster away. You know how that goes, guys. Anyway, let's see what else is going on. Chrissy said she doesn't do well in the cold either. I understand that. Yeah, Joey he complains and whines and carries on. The picture at the beginning of this was us out in the pasture out here the other day when I was having to milk the mom that had lost her babies. A friend of mine had come over, and Joey and one of his buddies were piddling with a 4-wheeler, and there was all the chickens standing around because I was giving letting Rosie drink the milk out of the pan that I'd put the milk in. And then I had a baby sheep that was out there eating some food because the goats and the sheep keep it knocked back. And it was out in the yard with me. And he said, this is a picture I got to take. And he sent it to me. So I posted that one as our beginning here. California Giants and checkered Giants for meat mostly. Okay. Wow. But years ago, I got dangerously overheated picking blueberries at a U-Pick blueberry farm, and he gets to you quicker. Yep, I had heat stroke back when I was a teenager. Mom and them found me passed out in the garden out here when it was acres of garden. When you're feeding your whole family of 5 or 6 or 7 out of a garden that you're growing, the only thing you bought was your flour, meal, and sugar. You did a lot of gardening, and we had so many rows that we had to hoe out every day. You know how that goes when you're a kid and you come from a big family. You do a lot of that. And we had the milk cows and the whole 9, so they fell out in the garden, and I've always had problems with the temperature then. And back then, before I had this the bilateral mastectomy, guys, I never sweated. I would just get hotter and hotter, and you could see my whole body would start turning real red. But now I sweat like a pig. I mean, it just rolls off of me. It's awful. I don't know which was better. To feel all that heat to build up inside of you and not come out, and you feel like you're boiling on the inside, or if you letting it come out and everything you got on gets wet. But anyway, back then folks were more they sure were much more self-sufficient. We raised we raised peanuts, we raised our popcorn even. It was just we had rows of corn. I mean, rows and rows of corn. We had beans, many different kinds, several black-eyed peas, crowder peas, pinto beans, green beans, the string bean and the bush type, because they couldn't figure out which one they liked best. And I mean, just on and on and on. And tomatoes, and I've canned tomatoes till I was absolutely sick of it when I was a kid, guys. Cucumbers and squash, and just on and on and on, just the things. There's Fuzzy Adventures and more. Hello. See, her grandparents only went to the grocery store about once a month, and they grew most of what they ate. Well, that's the way we were when we were kids. We rarely ever went and bought any meat, because we were, even us kids, we squirrel hunted, we rabbit hunted. My granddaddy had rabbit boxes, and we would set the boxes out. I need to make us a rabbit box and do a video on it, guys, because I don't think folks even know how to make rabbit boxes anymore like we did when I was a kid. Let's see. But yeah, we grew so many things, guys. It was just, you just didn't think about it. It was just something you did. And you sat in the evenings after you done worked and slaved in the garden all day. Then you had to sit and shell all those beans and wash them and either blanch them and freeze them or put them in jars or whatever. It was no break for the weary. I don't see how people that worked in these cotton mills around here got away with doing it. But while I'm thinking about it, guys, I wanted to show y'all this beautiful lamp that a friend of mine got. Oh, isn't this beautiful? This sucker is heavy. Y'all can't see it in the video, but it is heavy. And Tommy Gray gave me that. And while we were out rambling around over the weekend, guys, I bought me something at an estate sale. I don't know if you guys have ever seen an old churn like this one. Let me see if I can hold it and show you how it works. Turn it this way. We always had the old churn that you sat there and did the stick up and down forever. But, only the wealthier folks had these kind of churns. So these churns have been going around here. Oh, several years ago, they were running over $200 to find a churn like that. Well, the price has dropped drastically, of course, but I bought this one. They had it marked, and then I bought it for half price of what it was marked for. Not because I jewed them down, guys. Not that I'm not against jewing them down, but it was an estate sale, and on Saturday, it's all one price, and then the next day, it's another price. And I just happened to go back because Joey wanted to look for see if a belt sander that was there was still there. He was thought about going back and getting it. And while we were going back and getting it, we will have new videos on here. So soon also, I'm guessing. Christy said that she gave away a couple of the old churns. Well, I'm prepared, guys, if anything were to happen. And we have with things going on over in Iran now, we just don't know what's going to happen if if they were to hit some of our major infrastructure, there's a lot of people that just won't make it, that aren't used to this heat. And, if they were to hit our electrical grids and water grids, these people in big cities, especially, that don't have wells or have a way to get water and get electricity or whatever, they'll have a really hard time. I wouldn't like not having, but I will survive. For a while anyway, guys, for a while. Yeah, we had the old turn that you had to sit there and chop up and down forever. And it seemed like it took hours, sitting there doing that stick up and down, up and down, up and down. Oh. We think we finally got the solutions under control. That's Fuzzy Adventures and More. Okay. Yeah, I think they were having some problems with their video. And anyway, guys, but I was right excited about the old churn with the turn handle, because I like making butter. I don't know about you, and I like being able to teach the grandkids. And so I'm going to be getting some milk the next time the kids come. I'm going to be getting some heavy milk, and I'm going to be letting the kids turn the churn and making butter with it, buttermilk and all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited about that. I remember, my grandmother, she says she remembers how her great-grandmother loved buttermilk. My grandparents did too. And my grandmother would always she had a gallon jug, and she would sit it up on the mantle, and the buttermilk would be clabbering or whatever it does on the mantle in there. And why she put it there, I don't know. Maybe because it was warmer there. I don't know, especially in the winter times or summer, the winter time. But I've made buttermilk, but I always made it with the bulk stuff that you add to it, and you let it sit for so long and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, which I guess is about the same thing she did. She just didn't add whatever to it to make it clabber or whatever it's supposed to do. Stock up on water, salt, canned food, instant potatoes. Your imagination and God won't let you starve. Isn't that the truth? Well, I'm a little bit of I guess you could say, one of these people that's paranoid. So I have flour and sugar and noodles and rice and that kind of stuff stored in 5-gallon buckets, though. And I rotate it out every so often. Every time I need some new, I'll get it. When it starts getting low, I'll take that out, put new in. So that way I have a constant supply of it. Saved leftover cornbread to have with her buttermilk and cornbread snack. That's right. That's exactly right. Yep. I've ate buttermilk and cornbread many times with my grandmama. Love my nanny. She was the sweetest little old woman. And people don't save cornbread anymore, but I save my leftover cornbread to make my cornbread dressing with, and also a cornbread casserole that I make. Chrissy said she used to be prepared like that. Well, I'm not so. Yeah, I can imagine living in a camper. It makes it really hard. But to keep supplies, bless your heart. But just being able to grow stuff that you can, like dried beans. It may not be something I want to have every day for a meal, but it's a whole lot better than starving. Instant potatoes, canned milk, condensed milk or carnation milk or whatever. It's not the greatest, but it's a whole lot better than no milk. If you don't have a cow, and it lasts for so many years. Some items will last up to 20 or so years. Some items only last 6 months or a year. So you got to keep up with what items and how long, and rotate that stuff out. which is hard to do, guys. It's really hard to do, especially if you got it boxed up and stored, which is what I do. So I have to go every so often and go through my stuff and make sure my dates are not about to go up. But with all the stuff going on now, we just have no clue what's going to go on. I don't know what's going to happen with this country. Every day I wonder a little more and a little more, guys. But anyway, get off of that subject. But yeah, my grandmama, she always, they had their buttermilk and cornbread on a regular basis. That was a staple around here for them. When I tried storing canned milk, it was bad shortly after the use date. Well, I had some, it's not Eagle brand milk. It was another brand, an off brand, I guess. Eagle brand is the brand that I prefer when you use that type milk. But it wasn't bad, but it had started drying out, kind of, I guess. It still tasted good, but it just was not as, so it was not something that I would do often. I know saving non-fat powdered milk. And there are people that actually take their milk and they have these fancy dehydrators and they can dehydrate their milk and powder it up. Now, I've not done that just because. Let's see. Yes, gas prices are going up. But, every year they go up in the summertime because people are out of work for summer. Kids are out. They know they're going to be, it's just an automatic thing. If you want to play the futures and you want to get in and jump in for some gas prices, commodities, or whatever it's called, gas is one of those things that I always get into at May. And then again, you get out of it in September, get back in it right before Christmas and New Year, from Thanksgiving to after New Year. Get out of it again because it almost always drops after that. Christy said when she was a kid, she got a carton of milk at school, and I'm picky about milk. Yeah, there's nothing better than open up that carton of milk and take a big swig and it be ruined. Oh, okay. It says, I am Canadian and her mother-in-law used pet milk. They probably were made in the same factory. Probably so. Yep, probably so. I wouldn't doubt it a bit. Pet milk was the one. And my mom used the pet milk. She would open it, punch a hole in it, and set her can in the refrigerator. Sometimes she'd put it in a little fruit jar. But she would use it in her coffee. And boy, she had to have her coffee and her Winston cigarettes because my mom smoked. And she had a whole drawer of cigarettes because she would put her cigarettes in there, in a drawer in a little desk in there in the den. And my sister caught up a bunch of frogs and put those frogs in that drawer. And my mom went in there about half asleep and pulled that drawer out to get her some pack of cigarettes, and frogs jumped out. My mom about wet her pants and had a heart attack at the same time. Yep, that was one of those tricks she wasn't expecting. Oh. Yeah, that's one of the funny things about life. You think about stuff like that, and that makes you think of the funny things. But I remember it was early in the morning. My mom, she worked her whole life. My dad was not the greatest person in the world. And then he started having heart attacks, and he had like 9 heart attacks and a massive cerebral hemorrhage before he ever passed away. And it all started from a massive cerebral hemorrhage where he and one of his buddies were popping each other with rubber bands, and the rubber band popped and went in his eye, hit his eye. And he had a cerebral hemorrhage from that and bleeding on the brain. So you know how that goes. It's always some. But that's just playing on the job, goofing around. And that's how that all happened. So that was one of the, when he was working, he didn't work regular. So mom worked herself to death, and bless her heart. And then she would get up 5 o'clock every morning and build all the fires in the house because we had fireplaces. And, you froze to death, all the rooms. You had a couple of rooms that were warm. The rest of the house was cold as had ice cubes in it. And you'd run in there and change clothes in front of the fireplace, and you was trying to get clothes on. And you'd be having to rotate because one end of you'd be burning, the other side would be cold, in front of the fireplace. Her cat, Christy said her cat brought a frog in during the night and dropped it in front of her 100-pound dog. Scared him. I bet that was hilarious. Oh, I can see a big dog jumping up scared. Chrissy said she remembers doing that to her grandparents. Yep. But anyway, so, you sit here and you freeze to death, but poor mom, she'd get up and she'd get the house as warmed up as she could, the main part of the house. Of course, the bedrooms were still closed off and cold. And then she'd come in here and she'd make biscuits and cook for everybody in the house. Had breakfast every morning. We had breakfast. And you got up, we had chores we had to do in the mornings, milking or whatever we had to do before we ever started to school, It was just one of those things. It was just normal routine when you were growing up. You didn't think about it, Reverend Joe said it's now down in the 70s and raining at his house. Oh, 70 would sound real good right now to me. Oh, the guy that I'd been selling my eggs to, was closed up, and I don't know if he's going to open back up. So my daughter works with a guy that wants my eggs, and so I told her to take them to him this week and see how many he wanted of them, and if he didn't want all of them, to sell them to the people that she worked with up there. Just let them go for $3 a dozen, so I can get rid of them. I don't want them to go over a week or so old, Chrissy said it has dropped to 83 there at her house. Oh, no. Possible severe storms there where Reverend Joe is. Well, y'all be careful because it is just not going to be pleasant. There has been so many tornadoes and really bad storms. We've got a whole lot of small trees just blowed over and just drooping back here in the back. And quite a few, we have these beetles that got in all the pines around here. And all the pines that were already damaged, a lot of them are broken over and all that stuff. Jesus' Lord said that she loved to do rotisserie shuffle in front of her granny's fireplace and then go in her bed with 30 pounds of quilts. I know once they got those quilts pulled up on you, girl, you couldn't roll over, so you better be where you want to be for the night. I remember those days. And boy, quilts back then were made. They were heavy. Nowadays, you make a quilt just little light things. Ain't nothing like a real quilt. Peaceful Dad says it's still 86 there in Tallahassee with a heat index of 96. It feels like that here, honey. I guarantee you. But we're expecting it to get super, super hot the rest of this week, and I am hoping that it cools off after that. There's just been a heat front all the way across the continent across here. So we're hoping that this thing will blow up. I mean, it's time for it to be getting that hot. Oh, the worst part, Des says, is that her car has no AC. Oh, holy moly, girl. You just drive a little faster and roll every window down in the place. For years and years, we rode around with no car. And, you were used to it back then. But nowadays, it's rough. There were 3 people killed in New York yesterday from a tornado, and it was about 35 miles from where you live or where you used to live. Oh, wow. Wow. Yep, Christy, the next few days here are supposed to be super hot too. So that's where Jesus' Lord says she is in between Des, you and Des. And I'm so glad that I'm not a roofer. Isn't that the truth? I don't see how these guys do it. You know, you're sweating like a dog, and they're standing on these roofs, putting up metal roofing, especially. And the roofing will be, you know, the ridges or whatever will be like this. I don't know how in the world they stay up there because they're sweating, everything's sweating, you're dripping, you know. And then this asphalt, you know, it just melts. I mean, it gets in your hands. If you don't have on some gloves, it'll actually burn your fingertips, tearing it apart. It gets so hot, especially when they're doing the darker colors. I can't imagine. And then here, they're re-asphalting the Kia Parkway and Kia Drive and all that out here close to where I live. And it has just, it's terrible. The car tires and the streets are just so doggone hot. I couldn't even imagine having to walk. You know, we walked barefoot everywhere when I was a child. You just didn't wear shoes in the summertime. That's just all it was to it. And I just cannot imagine trying to cross those roads, you know. One thing, the poor little old turtle trying to cross the road the other day, and it looked like it was tiptoeing. It's trying to get across that black asphalt that they've just spread down. Oh no, 2 of the children were 6-year-old twin girls. How horrible. Christy said she asked the Lord for some clouds and a little rain. And it happened late morning. It was not in the forecast. Well, praise the Lord for that. Well, you know, it actually clouded up here, and we thought we were going to get some rain. And then the sun came back out. But then when we came back from town, we had a little, like a 15-minute or so drizzle. And the doggone, after that drizzle, it really steamed up then. When the rain stopped, it was that much more steamier and humid around here. So I don't know, if we don't get a good rain, a little bit didn't help a whole lot. But 2 6-year-old children, that is so horrible. You know, you just don't know. There's a reason for everything that happens, but sometimes it sure makes you wonder what that reason could possibly be. Yeah, it does steam up, Christy said. I know that's right. I mean, like I say, I went out to lock the chickens up, and it was like you could just rake it off because you were sweating as soon as you walked out the door. It was so hot. But here at the house, the animals are even just, they're staying around the water. Even the turkeys are jumping in the little pond that we got for the ducks and walking around because the ground is so hot. And if we're not careful, we've had a lot of rain lately. It's the only reason our grass is still doing as well as it's doing. Last year, this time, not this time, but next month, well, July coming up, the grass had done dried out so much from, we didn't get as much, nearly as much rain as we've gotten this year. And the grass just crinkled. It was like rolling up aluminum foil that crinkles so bad when we tried our brown paper bag or something. It was so dry when you tried to walk across the grass, you could hear it just crackling and breaking, you know. So we're hoping it doesn't dry out that much around here like it did. There's Drops Homestead. Hello, hello. Need little ponds for the chickens and other fowl. So they can stick their feet in it and cool down. That's exactly right. Yes, I have those little small pools, you know, like you put out for babies or whatever. And I have them out there, and we always keep water in them. We keep 3 or 4 inches of water in there so they can get in. Sometimes they'll drink out of it. A lot of times they'll get in it. And just is terrible. Chrissy said she ran out of dog food tonight, so the dogs had cold chicken noodle soup, and they loved it. I bet they did. Kiddie pools work good. Yes, they do. They work good here. And then we have another pool that's about it's about a foot deep, and that's the one the ducks got in and swam around in. And we have it we have it set up to where when it rains, the water runs off and gets in it. It has a drain down low on the ground that you can unscrew. It's a hard plastic pool, and it's probably 6 or 8, about 8 foot long by about 4 foot wide, I guess, 4.5 foot wide. So we can drain it and then rinse it out with a hose and then put the top back on it when we know we're going to be getting rain, and we let the rain run off of the top of the barn and run into that, and keeps the ducks in plenty of water that they can play in. Let's see. Old Man King. Let's see. I have 6 minutes before they shut down my internet for 5 hours. Maintenance thing. Oh, bless your heart. Well, I'm glad you come in. Checked us out for tonight. There's Darren. Hello, Darren. Darren says he has just been here, just been on the road. I understand that, Darren. Understand that. And High Country is in here. Hello, hello. Just came in for lunch. How is everyone? We're all doing good, just super hot here. I don't know what your temperature is over there, honey, but it is super hot here. We're expecting 99 with 113 heat index for the next 3 or 4 days. So, whew. 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Woo. 96 in Arkansas. Yep, 97 here in Georgia today. And that didn't stay too awfully long. It was 96 when we were in town, but we're out in the country out here. So, but anyway, guys, we have been hanging out. I don't know about you guys. I don't want the 32, but I don't want the 100 either. So, I would love to have a happy medium of around 76 to 86 at the most. 70 to 80 would be absolutely perfect for me. I would absolutely love that. Susan, okay, I couldn't remember your name. I'm so sorry. I need to write it down. Thank you. Christy says it's strange to think that it's so hot here and so cold over there. But we got to remember they're like on the other side, the other side of the globe, whatever, for us. Reverend Joe says he's got to get out of here. Good night, Reverend Joe. We're going to be getting out of here too in just a minute. Cool there because it was only 92 in Waldron, Peter said. And Jovita says I got 2 more minutes. So, guys, we're going to give our spiel. Be nice to yourself. Appreciate yourself. Be nice to other people because we don't know what those people are going through. There's so much meanness in the world, so much suicide and depression and all. So let's try to be on our best behavior, and love you guys. I appreciate y'all so much, and especially you ones that watch my videos and leave comments, and y'all don't know how much I enjoy going and looking at those comments and saying, oh, look, she said this. Even, some just leave the symbols, whatever, like hearts or whatever. But at least I know they came in, they saw what was there, and it makes me feel good, guys. It really does. And that's part of the reason why I'm not going to give up on my channel. So anyway, guys, we're going to tell everybody good night now. I'm going to get out of here a few minutes early because there's another channel that's coming up right behind me. Love y'all, and we will talk to y'all later. Bye.